Hi, Coach and Hoka One One athlete Sage Canaday here with another training talk. Today we're going to talk about our free download, our free plan at higherrunning.com. It is a coaching business plug. Coach Sandy and I developed these training plans. We do sell plans on the website, but I'm going to talk about our free plan download, the AEROBIC base building plan. It's designed more for beginners, or if you're coming off of not running for a while, getting back into the swing of things, maybe if it's the winter months, spring months in the northern hemisphere, you want to start kickstarting your fitness, but you don't want to peak super fast. You don't want to peak too soon and burn out before your big races, which may be several months down the line. This plan is a 9-week plan, so it's kind of on the short side. A lot of the plans that we sell are 12 weeks or 16 weeks in duration. You could even be planning your training maybe 20 weeks out from a race. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's a total beginner plan. It's a plan that you have some experience running. If you're a total beginner, check out some of my other videos on getting into a combination of doing some run-walking combinations, maybe running 2 or 3 times a week first before you commit to running 4 or 5 times per week. And you know, this plan, you're running, most of the weeks you're running 5 days a week. And some days or some weeks you have 3 rest days where you take totally off, or you have the option to cross train. But the whole idea, and I will say it does start at 18 to 22 miles per week, so that's about an average of 32 kilometers per week. So it's not starting from zero. If you're starting from zero, you probably don't want to run that many miles or that many kilometers in 1 week. But if you're fairly experienced, and even if you're coming off some break or some cross-country skiing or cycling or swimming or some sort of cross training, you're probably fit enough to go right into this plan. The first day, we'll take some screenshots of the actual plan. And again, it's a free download on our website under the free plan section, higherrunning.com. Link to it in the description below. We also have some other plans on there for free. Women's First 50K plan. Men could also use it, of course, as well as the Couch to 5K plan, cycling cross-training plan, stuff like that. But this plan is one of our most popular downloads. And, you know, the first day, you're running 4 to 5 miles, an easy pace. And we say easy. In the plans we sell, we have a lot more details for each day. It's very dialed. And you get our free pace intensity spectrum chart download with all the plans. And that's a free download. Again, this is a business plug, but it's a free download, free resource. And that kind of determines what intensity you run certain workouts at. Now, because this is an aerobic base building plan, I will say most of the miles are at that easy conversational pace. We call it zone 1, zone 2. Easy in that you could talk. You're not breathing so hard. You're not pushing, because the whole goal is to build your mileage up slowly and progressively, running with good form, relax so you don't get hurt. It's all about getting that cardiovascular system in, the aerobic part, training your lungs and your heart and your blood flow and stuff like that, while not straining your muscles too much. You'll probably get a little sore as you build up your mileage. But first day, you're running 4 to 5 miles. You know, that's only 7 or 8 kilometers, right? And then you have a rest day. The next day, it's 4 to 5 miles easy. It's a little repetitive. Next day after that, a rest day, 4 to 5 miles. It starts up progressively, though, because then on that Saturday, that first weekend day, you have a longer run. We don't call it a long run, but you're running 6 to 7 miles, right? 10 kilometers, and then you have a rest day. So it's designed in a way that each day is not always the same. Each 7-day cycle is not always the same, and you're slowly progressing. And with that progression, yes, there's an increase in your weekly mileage, how many miles you run or kilometers you run at the end of each week, but it doesn't always go up, right? Some weeks you kind of level off, or you take a little down week, so to speak. And that's how each day kind of ebbs and flows. So generally the longer runs are on weekend days. People that work Monday through Friday, they might have more time on a weekend day. Might not necessarily be the case, but you could structure the days around. And what we start integrating in, as you see, as we get into week 2, week 3, we do these things called strides. Now, I've done a whole video on strides. So, for example, first day, week 2, it says easy 4 to 5 miles plus 4 times 100 meter strides. Now, they don't have to be exactly 100 meters. They might be 20 seconds, right? And a stride is not a full-out wind sprint. It's more you want to accelerate into something faster than what you could run for a all-out mile or 1500. but it doesn't have to be as fast as possible. Eventually you want to get up to where you're hitting close to top sprinting speed, but you don't want to pull a muscle initially. So it's better to do this after your run, after your muscles are warmed, after you've done some light stretching, maybe some drills. The drills aren't on the plan, but 4 times 100-meter strides, you're running 100 meters or about 20, 25 seconds, however long that takes you, maybe 15 seconds if you're pretty fast. And you're going to rest at least probably a minute, maybe 2 minutes in between. It doesn't really matter because it's not a hard part of the workout. It's not, the goal is to be recovered enough that you could run with good form. And these faster strides, even though they're short and they're after your run, could really help iron out your form, your arm swing, your power, your stride rate, how many steps you take in a minute, as well as your push-off power, glute or butt muscle activation, springing off your calf more, opening up your stride. So when you're running fast, it helps iron out your form, and it helps stimulate what we call fast twitch muscle fibers in your legs that kind of go dormant if you always run slow all the time. Then running a little faster is sometimes a shock to the system, right? So doing these strides at a much faster pace all of a sudden makes your 5K pace feel a lot more comfortable, or it makes your marathon pace feel a lot more comfortable, right? So we start introducing strides a couple times a week. You don't see them again till Friday that week. Easy 5 miles, easy 8K, then 4 times 100-meter strides. Next week after that, week 3, it's the same thing. We're doing strides twice a week. We're slowly increasing the frequency that you're running and the mileage that you're running. So your longer run is getting up to 7 miles. What is that in metric? 11, 12 kilometers about. And but other days they're not just 4 or 5 miles, they're actually like 5 or 6 miles, right? You're running 10K a lot of days, and you're still having those rest days in there. So that's kind of the progression. And again, this is a free download on our website. I actually don't have it in a metric version. All our plans that we sell, we have both the metric and imperial versions. Since this was a free plan, we made it mainly just with imperial numbers, but pretty easy to convert when they're small numbers. At least I try. But I digress there. Eventually at week 5, after we've built our mileage up over 20 miles a week, 32K a week, we're getting some consistency going, right? After about 4 or 5 weeks, things start clicking in a program. We introduce a new type of workout, which is one of my favorite workouts, nod to Jack Daniels' Distance Running Formula book, and nod to a lot of my training talks that I've done over the last 10 years, the 20-minute tempo run. 20-minute tempo run. So what do? Well, you warm up a mile and a half. Then you do some strides, 4 times 100-meter strides, right? 1 to 2 minute rest in between each 100-meter sprint. And then what we do is we launch into this 20-minute controlled run where essentially you're going at about 80 to 85% effort. We could say maybe if you have a heart rate monitor, you really know your heart rate numbers, it goes up to 90% effort. But overall, the perceived exertion level should be, zone 3, zone 4, and it should be that level where you can't carry on a conversation, but you could still say a couple words here and there to your friend, or maybe a sentence, but it would be hard to carry on a very detailed conversation because you're starting to breathe hard. You're starting to push a little bit. It's comfortably uncomfortable is what we like to call it. It may be, if you're experienced and you've run a 10K or half marathon, it may be a little bit slower than your 10K pace and a little bit faster than your half marathon pace. So something kind of in between that. It doesn't really matter. It's better to go on the easier side than go too hard. It's not a 20-minute race. You're not trying to run an all-out 5K or something like that. That would be 100% effort. This is 85% effort. And you have a rest day after that. You have a rest day after that. But what we see in that week 5 is we have a long run of 8 miles, so about 13 kilometers that Saturday, and we say we want a negative split. Well, what does negative split mean? It means you run the second half faster than the first half. So the first 4 miles, the first 6.4K, maybe you start out pretty easy. But then the second half of that long run, you do up tempo, and that's another term we use on our pace intensity spectrum chart. It's kind of what Sandy and I have used at Higher Running with a lot of athletes who've coached as kind of one of those in-between zones, but basically it's faster than your easy pace. It's not maybe a pure tempo, but we don't have to worry about the details on that. You're speeding up in a long run, and that's a really great workout is, the variations on long runs. It's not just running this certain distance. It could be for some runs, but actually putting in a very concerted effort on your long run weekend day. And see, that's how the rest of the plan kind of progresses. We increase the mileage up over 30 miles a week. So that's, what is that, 50K a week, right? 30 to 34 miles. And that's kind of where it about peaks out. At the very end, you could hit 35 to 40 miles per week. So pushing it a little there, but you could be flexible with this plan. And that's kind of the beauty of these plans is if you don't feel like running 4 miles that day, maybe you only run 3 miles. If you don't feel like 6K, you do 5K. In the grand scheme of things, the goal is to be healthy and to progress with your fitness in a controlled manner that's going to keep you healthy long term and is going to get you in shape to get in shape later on if you want to launch into one of our more advanced plans, or you're launching into very specific types of training where you're running higher mileage and doing track intervals and some fancy workouts like that. So that's kind of the idea of the whole plan. You've seen that last week we have what we call a fartlek or time interval type of session where you're doing 3-minute surges followed by 2 minutes recovery, 5 times 3 minutes fast, 2 minutes easy. And of course you warm up before these, warm up 1.5 miles, 2 kilometers, and then you do some strides, then you launch into the workout. You're not doing it on cold muscles. That's a key feature. And then you cool down an easy mile or 1.5K after that type of workout. And maybe you're running those 3 minutes faster than your 5K pace, your projected 5K pace, because this is a great plan if you're looking to maybe jump in a 5K or 10K road race or cross-country race, getting your mileage up, getting your long runs up. Eventually, to really peak, you would probably want to follow a selling point, our higher running 5K, 10K plan, where you actually do VO2 max intervals and more advanced workouts. But this type of plan really gets you in shape to get in shape, like I said, and you could definitely extend your fitness off of that. It gives you a good springboard of well-rounded fitness progression in kind of that manner over 9 weeks' time. And that's really the goal of that. And, you know, with the business, with Higher Running, we rebranded from Sage Running to Higher Running. Check out the new website. It's all about athlete empowerment, and we wanted to make our plans accessible to more people in the community. And we realize if, you know, some plans from competitors are super expensive, really, for a cookie cutter type of training plan, right? So we wanted to make our plans that we sell not at the super high price points, and we wanted to have some free resources. So you could get this as a free download on our website, higherrunning.com. Enter in your email address, and we really appreciate your support. Check out all our plans for any surface, any distance. You know us, and yeah, check it out on social media as well at Higher Running. Thanks to title sponsor Hoka One One for keeping the dream alive. More vlogs coming your way of my own training, race plans hopefully for this year. Really can't thank you guys enough for all the Patreon support and making this channel possible. Hope you're doing well, staying healthy, and stay tuned for more VO2 Max Productions.
It was a